graduation day for Joplin High School's class of 2021. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with how these grads feel to reach this milestone and what the future has in store for them.
A new CBS poll shows that a large majority of Republican voters still back former President Trump. I'm Deborah Alford at the White House with how this may shape the GOP.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Showers and storms continue to rumble through the area, and that could lead to flooding concerns. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. We go straight to meteorologist Nick Kelly for the latest on our forecast. Hey, Nick.
Good evening, Chris. We actually saw temperatures warm up quite a bit today, even though we had cloud cover at times and some scattered rain and storms at times. 59 is where we started the Joplin Regional, topped out at 78 this afternoon, a degree above finally where we should be at this point in the month of May. Now, after we had a relatively calm afternoon, we've got another batch of rain, maybe a couple of embedded thunderstorms rotating on through as it slowly took its time coming out of central and northeastern Oklahoma. Like last night, though, any good chances for strong or severe storms staying well to the west. Those are continuing to rotate through the western parts of Texas. As far as temperatures go, we're sitting mainly in the mid-60s at the top of the hour. This bundle of rain will slowly rotate through for the rest of the overnight and into tomorrow morning as lows drop to 63. But you can see a little tapering off of the rain chances going into tomorrow afternoon. That should be enough to send highs back near 75. This may not be a big concern for flooding, Chris, but we've got numerous other rain chances lined up. We'll break that down for you here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Well, Joplin High School held their 135th graduation ceremony today in the school's gymnasium. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with graduating seniors to hear their thoughts on getting a full graduation after last year's class didn't.
Joplin High School seniors were able to celebrate a huge milestone Sunday, one that many did not get to fully experience last year.
Last year we had a drive-through graduation where kids drove through and they got a charm and a certificate, but then we had a walk-through graduation where kids, one family at a time, or like 6 families at a time, could walk across the stage. I mean, we had, the families could walk in and watch their kids graduate, walk across the stage. So it wasn't like a live, real graduation.
Joplin High School's principal says he's excited that they get to have a full ceremony for this year's graduating class.
Yeah, I think it means a lot to the kids. I know they are super excited at the opportunity to be able to gather on this last day with all of their friends and celebrate and have their family members see them walk across the stage and receive their diploma. I know they are all super excited about it.
I'm extremely grateful that we get to do this. It's awesome. I was nervous that we weren't going to get to have the real deal experience, but I'm very grateful. It's a blessing that we are, and I'm happy to be here.
And after dreaming of this day for 4 years, one graduate was especially thankful for the in-person ceremony, so she could make a long-awaited speech.
And I've been looking forward to giving it for close to 4 years, so I've been crossing my fingers it got to happen. It feels really good that we get to celebrate together as one last time and a good send-off into what the next chapter of our lives holds.
Although some grads say they felt bittersweet about leaving this chapter of their lives behind, they were ultimately filled with joy about reaching this milestone and were excited to look towards what the future holds for them. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Well, although Joplin High School usually hosts their ceremony at MSSU, they had it in their own gym due to COVID-19 restrictions. One person is dead after their vehicle slammed into a tree in the Kansas City area with enough force to split the car in two. The crash happened Sunday morning along Shawnee Mission Parkway near 55th Street in Fairway, Kansas. Johnson County Sheriff's Office said that because of excessive speeds, the vehicle appears to have split in half after it struck a tree on the side of the road. The driver died in the crash, and the driver's name wasn't immediately released today. The crash remains under investigation. A new CBS poll shows a large majority of Republican voters still back former President Trump and believe his widespread false claims that the election was stolen from him. As Deborah Alford reports, those polled also overwhelmingly support the ouster of Representative Liz Cheney because she does not back Trump's claims.
A new CBS News poll finds most Republicans who heard about Liz Cheney's ouster from her House GOP leadership role agree with the move. Those Republicans said they felt Cheney was off message and unsupportive of former President Trump, and that she's wrong about the 2020 election. Many said she did not support Mr. Trump's claims of election fraud. 1/3 said disloyalty should be punished. Cheney, Wyoming's sole representative, continues to speak out about her rift with her own party.
At this moment, the majority of the Republican Party is not where I am, but it's my responsibility as an elected official, it's my responsibility as a leader to lead and to tell the truth.
In a CBS poll, the vast majority said the GOP should follow former President Trump's example on economic policy, immigration, leadership, and how to treat the media. Shortly after Wednesday's GOP shakeup, President Biden hosted Republican members of Congress here at the White House, hoping to garner their support for his infrastructure proposal. Reporters asked Mr. Biden if he could work with and trust Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who supported Cheney's ouster. For her part, Cheney is calling on McCarthy to testify before a bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th Capitol assault.
He clearly has facts about that day, that an investigation into what happened, into the president's actions, ought to get to the bottom of.
Cheney is one of only 10 Republicans who voted to impeach Mr. Trump after the Capitol riots. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
New York Representative Elise Stefanik, one of Mr. Trump's staunchest defenders, was voted to take over Cheney's House leadership role. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Staff Sergeant Charlie Bruton served in the Army from 1942 to 1945 in Belgium, his hometown, Neosho. And we are proud to recognize Staff Sergeant Charlie Bruton, tonight's four-state hero. Remember to view other heroes, or if you'd like to nominate one of your own, you just have to head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at our top stories and a quick check of that forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, how kids in Des Moines are working to tackle gun violence in their community, and evacuations take place following a train derailment near the town of Sibley, Iowa. 72. That's how many gun-related incidents have happened in Des Moines since the start of this year. So many Des Moines teenagers are saying enough is enough. Kayla James from our affiliate KCCI shows us how they came together last night to discuss solutions to end the violence.
Do you know someone who has been shot?
Yeah, I know a couple people.
There was a younger kid. There was 2 younger kids.
Of the 5 Des Moines teens we spoke with on Saturday, only one, Araya Harris, could say she doesn't personally know anyone hurt by a gun, but she still wants gun violence to end as much as her friends do.
And it's just like, what was the point? Like, what did you get out of it?
Those questions come from a 14-year-old girl who was joined on Saturday by many others at an event, Guns Down, Gloves Up.
Cinderella, Cinderella.
And while it looked like a family picnic,
we are where it starts.
For Guns Down, Gloves Up organizer Jennifer Harris,
there's a lot of violence going on out here in the community.
It was a way to bring families together to discuss gun violence and make sure kids in Des Moines have a future to live for.
It hurts my heart so bad. I could not imagine my child not coming home.
From January to May 11th, Des Moines police say there have been 72 gun-related incidents. Those include homicides, people with injuries, and property damage. The 72 incidents are less than the 78 in 2020 and 76 in 2019.
I mean, even though we're less than what it was last year, but can we get down to none?
Harris says preventing teens from getting involved with gun violence starts at home or with an adult simply reaching out.
We need to take time to do activities like this with our kids and show them that we understand that it's important. We're with you.
That's Harris's plea to adults. As for the teens, when it comes to stopping gun violence in the city they love so much, they're pleading to the people doing the shooting.
Tomorrow's not promised.
You could talk it out or anything, but you don't have to use guns or weapons.
A train derailed near the small town of Sibley, Iowa earlier today, forcing an evacuation of the community. Now, according to our affiliate KELO TV in Sioux Falls, the train derailed on the edge of Sibley this afternoon. Shortly after, a number of cars caught fire, pouring black smoke into the sky. Officials tell KELO TV they're limiting who is allowed into the community and plan on letting the fire burn itself out, which will likely happen overnight. Authorities say they're concerned whatever is burning could be toxic to inhale. We had a rainy and even a little bit of a stormy end of the weekend. Meteorologist Nick Kelly is up next with what the work week's going to hold for us. And a little later, the latest on a fire burning near Los Angeles.
We were able to warm up quite a bit today, even though we had a fair amount of cloud cover, some rain and thunderstorms this morning, and even as we speak, another round of rain and even a couple of storms trying to rotate on through. But you can see from our time lapse of indigo sky just outside of Seneca, Missouri, sure, we had the cloud cover to start the morning out, but we did have some peaks of sun. That actually helped us push into the upper 70s for afternoon highs today, even though we had a few random strong, low-grade severe storms across parts of the Kansas side last night. Some rain this morning, and then we're getting our next batch of rain working on through. So far, though, from today's rain alone and late last night, we've seen for yourself there 4/10 of an inch of rain on average, with the heaviest pockets of rain to the north in the parts of northeastern Oklahoma. Like I said, though, we are far from done with our rain chances. We've got another good complex rotating on through after it took forever coming out of central and northeastern Oklahoma. The heaviest of the rains that I see on the border stretching from Parsons, Altamont, Independence, and then working back toward Bartlesville and just to the north of Tulsa. Other areas seeing some light showers out there. Thankfully, no thunderstorms. And thankfully, we're not going to see anything too crazy for the rest of the night. 65 at Joplin, a north breeze at 5, keeping the humidity high at 93%. Most of us, though, fairly mild still, in the mid-60s in general. It's going to be a slow drop, though, into the lower 60s for tonight as the cloud cover hangs tough and our latest batch of rain continues to push on through. You can see, though, like last night, any good chances for strong to severe storms, it's staying out in western parts of Texas, so we don't have to worry about that. But as long as the stationary front's still around tonight going into tomorrow, with yet another disturbance coming from the upper level low centered over Las Vegas, riding along the jet, we still are going to hold on to rain chances as we get this new work week and school week going. That does include the rain that's out there now. It still wants to hang around through the overnight. There could be some moderate pockets of rainfall, sure, but not expecting anything too strong out of that. And that means we've got to have the rain gear handy in the morning as lows drop back to about 63. So again, not dropping off much more from where we are now. Once we get into the afternoon, though, we'll start mostly cloudy, but we'll see some pockets of sun again during the afternoon. And not only that, the rain chances may taper off a bit, especially during the afternoon. If we can get the rain out soon enough with the partly sunny skies, I think we'll go from 63 in the morning to 69 by noon and afternoon highs around 75. If we get the rain out sooner, we may push into the upper 70s. We'll just see how Mother Nature wants things to play out. Fortunately, she'll give us a break in the rain chances Monday night and Tuesday before we see additional thunderstorm chances by Tuesday afternoon. So in the short term, over the next 2 days, 1/2 inch to maybe 2 inches tops, depending on where the heaviest rain sets up and tracks on through. So, well, thunderstorms definitely in the forecast Tuesday. Thunderstorms Wednesday through Thursday. That upper low clears out, but another one will take its place and keep scattered thunderstorms in the forecast as we go toward next weekend, with sticking with Doug's pattern, a possible severe threat returning by that Sunday. So we're keeping Saturday just strong storms, which is good considering what's coming up on Saturday. 75 tomorrow, mid to upper 70s through much of the week, Chris, and the 80s return for the weekend ahead.
Certainly an active week. I know we've been saying that the last couple of nights, but it's something that people are definitely going to need to watch as we go through the next few days.
If not the severe weather threat, which is still pretty low, all these rain chances, we may have to deal with some flooding if these trends continue. So we'll keep an eye on that.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, former Joplin running back Isaiah Davis shines in the FCS championship. Plus, Pittsburgh State is one win away from advancing to the Final Four of the MIAA tournament. Danny Terzer has it all next.
This is the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. Pittsburgh State plays a decisive Game 3 today. After dropping Game 1, the Gorillas have a chance to complete a huge comeback and take this series. Today's winner will advance to the Final Four. A big fourth inning for PSU, Grayson Pinkett out to left for a base hit. Caleb Carr scores to tie the game at 2. Then the inning is capped off here by Garrett McGowan. 3-run jack to make it 7-2. McGowan has homered in each of the 3 games this series. Later, Washburn puts up a 5-run inning. Wyatt Featherston gets a base hit, scores 2 for the Ichabods to tie the game. McGowan in the 8th, up the middle. An error on the play. The Gorillas get 2. And Dawson Pomeroy pitches 3 shutout innings. And Pittsburgh State wins it 9-7.
Well, excited about how we played today. You know, losing the first game of any series, a 3-game series, you're going to have to battle your rear end off to get to the 3rd game and find a way to win it. Really proud of my guys, of their effort today and their competitiveness. I think it's something we've worked on all year, and we haven't been great at it all year. When something goes wrong, we kind of back off or shy away from it, and I thought our guys did a really good job today of fighting through that.
Missouri Southern needs a win today to continue their run in the conference tournament. A win would also mean that Southern gets to keep playing at home. Lions up in the first. Tommy Stevenson gets all of this one. He sends it over the center field fence. That will tie the game. In the 3rd, though, Garrett Takamatsu singles to right, bringing in the run for the Broncos to go up by 2. And then Jordan Fitzpatrick gets a solo home run. Lions are closing in. Coming up big is Ryan Hunter, a monster grand slam to left. Southern takes their first lead of the game at 7-3 after 7, but a big 8th inning response from UCO gets them the 11-7 win, and Missouri Southern is eliminated. The FCS championship is today, and one of Joplin High School's very own is suiting up. Isaiah Davis, now a running back at South Dakota State, gets the opportunity to compete for the title as a freshman. South Dakota State up against Sam Houston. In the first quarter, Davis battles for a yard to get the touchdown. Jackrabbits take an early lead. Then trailing by 10 in the 4th, Davis hungry for more. Here he goes, breaking multiple tackles, a 28-yard touchdown. Davis not done yet. From his own 15, nobody can stop this guy. A nasty stiff arm here, and he is free. 85 yards to the house. Davis scores all 3 of the Jackrabbits' touchdowns in the game. And South Dakota State falls in a heartbreaker 23-21, but what a day for Davis, his career just getting started. And that's it for sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
We're heading now to California, where they're battling a brush fire in the Pacific Palisades. The fire started last night at Michael Lane and Palisades Court, then flared again today. At least 750 acres have now burned. On top of all of that, sheriffs are also searching for the arson suspect believed to have set this fire. Candace Crone from our affiliate KCAL is in the Pacific Palisades with more.
Air tankers flew nonstop, dropping water on a raging fire that chewed through brush in the hills near Pacific Palisades, forcing residents to evacuate. It started Friday night and exploded in the early morning hours due to windy conditions. That, combined with dense, dry brush, made for an uphill battle for more than 70 firefighters.
The biggest challenge right now is the terrain it's in. It's very rugged, steep terrain that's inaccessible except on foot. It's hard to get heavy machinery and heavy equipment in there to create fire break.
It was like it had time bombs ready to explode in flames, and it happened.
As crews fought the fire from above, LAPD and sheriff deputies searched for a suspected arsonist. Authorities say a police helicopter spotted a man setting several fires in a rural area shortly before the blaze erupted. They believe he went hiding in the hills.
I heard there's caves in there, so there's multiple caves for the park rangers, so he might be in a cave because there's a lot of smoke earlier, and for him to survive that, he has to go somewhere indoors. So I'm thinking he went to a cave.
Neighbors are on edge.
I've heard through people that have lived up here that they know what he looks like. but they can't find him.
LAPD is looking into the possibility that the fire may have been set by a suspect recently on probation for arson.
If I'm a betting man, I would bet he is. But like I said, until we get him in custody and verify, I can't really tell you.
Rain in our forecast, and quite a bit of it. Final check of that forecast right after this.
They say when you come.
Certainly a busy week in the Weather Center coming up. Not necessarily the bad weather, but other things.
Yeah, Doug and I are not really too concerned about a severe threat for much of this week, which is good considering what's coming up on Saturday. We've got the Joplin Memorial Run, along with some special features that we'll be doing on Saturday's show, especially Chris. But all these rain chances over the next several days could lead to a flooding threat if we can't spread these rain chances out. So we have to keep an eye on that. In the short term, though, rain out there tonight continues into tomorrow morning. Then we should taper things off a bit, if not by tomorrow afternoon, by tomorrow evening for sure. Temperatures top out around 75. Even though rain chances continue through the rest of the work week, dry time will keep us warm, mainly in the upper 70s, but then finally we'll head back into the lower 80s at the very least as we head toward the coming weekend, Chris.
Well, it's good to see these temperatures, finally get back up to where they should be for this time of year, even though it's a bit rainy. We're paying a little bit of a price for nice temperatures.
Yeah, and hopefully by the time it hits 80, it doesn't start to feel muggy outside.
It's kind of muggy out right now.
It shouldn't feel muggy in late spring, but all of this we can handle and we'll keep an eye on.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. And that's our time for now. Our next news time is at 5 a.m. with the KOAM Morning News. And remember, you can keep up with the 4 states' most watched news online at KOAMnewsnow.com or in the palm of your hand with the KOAM News Now app. Thanks for making us part of your night.